Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, I would like to present our paper, a study of the mechanism of high-order wire polygonal wire. The outline of my talk is as follows. In the first part, I'd like to give a simple introduction to the polygonal wire. The second part will present some experimental results about the high-order polygonal wire. Then, a long-term wire iteration model would established, and the high-order polygonal wire will be reproduced. The main contributor of the high-order polygonal wire is identified through the experiments and simulation. Finally, the conclusion will be given. Okay, let's move to the first part. As we know, the polygonal wire is one of the greatest concerns of railway vehicles, and the polygonal wire with relatively lower order or lower frequency has been investigated by many researchers. This could be caused by many different reasons. However, since 2014, the high-order wire polygonalization broke out in China's high-speed line, and the dominant order can be up to 24th order. If you have listened to the previous presentation in the conference, you will find that the mechanism of the high-order polygonalization is still in dispute. Some researchers believe that the vibration mode of the bogie is the driving factor, however, while the others thought the bending mode of the rail between the wire set is the main reason. Our paper will give a possible explanation to the high-order polygonalization through experiment and simulation. Okay, let's see the characteristic of the high-order wire polygonalization. These figures show the typical polygonalization on the different types of trains with different operating speeds. As you can see, when the speed is 250 kilometers per hour, the wheels exhibits 22nd to 24th order. When the speed is 300 kilometers per hour, the dominant order became 18th to 20th, and as for the 350 kilometers per hour EMUs, the wheels commonly exhibited 16th to 17th order. This data show a coincidence that the passing frequency of these different orders of polygonal wire are all at the range of 550 to 650 Hertz, regardless of the speeds, which confirms to the constant frequency mechanism. Further evidence for the constant frequency mechanism can be found on the wheels with different diameters. When the diameters is different, the polygonal wire is also, the dominant order of the polygonal wire is also different, and but their passing frequency is almost the same. Apart from the wire measurement, the dynamic behavior of the high-speed trains was also tested. As we know, once the polygonal wire forms, the vehicle track system will be under forced vibration condition. So, therefore, in order to understand the initial stage of the high-order polygonal wire, the vibration of the vehicle should be tested immediately after the rail profiling. This figure shows the vertical acceleration of the axle box obtained from two different types of trains. As you can see, in spite of different speeds and different type of the vehicles, the frequency spectrum shows the similar peaks at the frequency about 45 Hertz and 550 Hertz to 650 Hertz. The first peak is related to the P2 resonance. The second peak is coincident with the passing frequency of the high-order polygonal wire. Therefore, it is induced that the resonance at the frequency of 550 to 650 Hertz exists in the vehicle track system, which is a driving factor for the formation of wire polygonalization. In order to identify the origin of this resonance, a coupled vehicle track dynamic model is established based on Professor Zhai's work. The vehicle is modeled as a multi-body system, and the rail is described by the discretely supported ship-to-machine beam. and the cutoff frequency is up to 2,000 Hertz to cover the passing frequency of the high-order polygonal wire. The model is validated through comparing its dynamic response to the mirrored one. The vertical acceleration of the XL box was measured in field when the vehicle operated at the speed of 250 kilometers per hour on the Guiyang to Guangzhou high-speed line. Meanwhile, the wheel polygonization and the track irregularities are both measured and input to the dynamic model. As you can see, the simulation results and the measured data show a good fit. This is the P2 resonance, sleeve passing frequency, and the peaks at a relative higher frequency are believed associated with the formation of the high-order polygonal wire. After the validation, the dynamic model is combined with the ultra wire model, and the long-term wire iteration model is established. Due to the time limitations, detailed I will not introduce much here, but some special points should be pointed out. In order to simulate the real condition of the operation in China, the running direction of the vehicle changes from one iterative to another, and the wheel are intentionally rotated a random angle before each dynamic simulation to avoid the wheels rolling across the same part of the track every time. And only the tension track is considered. In our simulations, the measured reprofiled wheel irregularity is taken as the initial irregularity at the beginning of the simulation. Using the, sorry. That's the animation. When the speed, we set the speed to 300 kilometers per hour, and oh, it works. And the radius is 0.46 meter. And after 40 iteration steps, the wheel irregularities developed to the high order polygonal wheel gradually, and the denominator order is 20th. However, until now, where the polygonal wheel originates from is still not identified. In the next part, the harmonic behavior of the wheel-real interface are calculated. In our work, two scenarios are considered. One is the single wheel set model, and another is a single bogie model. And a swept sinusoidal excitation is applied at the wheel-real interface. This is the response of the wheel-real normal forces obtained from these two models. Both models show a crest at the 45 Hertz, and however, for the single bogie models, the normal contact forces have 4 more peaks at around 180 Hertz, 400 Hertz, 650 Hertz, and 960 Hertz. According to the previous research, these 4 peaks may attributed to the wave reflection between the front and the rear wheel in the sorry, it doesn't move. As you can see, we plot the real acceleration near the bogie on the different frequency excitation. We can see the wheels in a bogie plays a role of constraints to the rail, and the rail has a large vibration between the two wheels in a bogie. And when the excitation is 118 Hertz, 400 Hertz, 650 hertz and 960 hertz. The vibration shape of the rail between the wheel has 0 node, and here we have 1 node, 2 node, and 3 nodes, which confirms to the first bending mode, second order bending mode, and third order bending mode, and fourth order bending mode of the rail between the wheels. Furthermore, the frequency of the third order bending mode is close to the passing frequency of the high order polygonal wheel. It is thus induced that this could be the main contributor. Also, we give the comparison of the polygonal wheel evolution when using single wheel set model and the single boogie model. As you can see, the 20th order polygonal wheel does not form in the single wheel set model. Obviously, it is because the real resonance between the wheel cannot be considered in the single wheel set model. Now we can say that it makes us believe that the third order real vertical bending resonance between the wheel is lead to the periodical fluctuation of the wheel real normal forces and further cause the periodical wear around the circumference, and finally the higher order polygonal wear forms. The last part is the parametric studies. Firstly, we change the operating speed. When the speed is under the different speed, the wear grows to the different dominator order, and the simulated dominator order do agree with those mentioned above. It is expected that changing the speed frequently instead of long-time constant speed operation will violate the formation law of the high-order polygonal wheel and suppress the growth rate of the polygonal wheel. Then we change the wheelbase. When the wheelbase is 2.5 meters, 2.7 meters, and 3 meters, the dominator order is 20th, 18th, and 15th. It is because that as the increase of the wheelbase, the frequency of the third order real bending mode between the wheel decreases. The difference is that when the wheelbase is 2 meters, the calculated dominator order of the polygonal wheel is 16th, which is not according with the third order real bending mode. Further results indicate that this could be likely attributed to the second order real bending mode rather than third order. We plot the final polygonal wheel on front and the rear wheel in a boogie. As you can see, when the wheelbase is 2 meters, the phase difference between the front wheel and the rear wheel is opposite, while the others are in phase, which confirms to the excitation form of the third order and the second order and the third order real bending mode. More parametric studies can be found in our full paper. The last slide is a brief summary, and thank you for your attention.